Evelynn is a champion in League of Legends that might as well have the title of Noob Stomper in her name. Since her inception back in 2009, she really has been nothing but a scourge in the games of players who don't drop pink wards to cover themselves. But current day Evelynn is in this really bizarre spot of nobody really quite knowing what the fuck to do with her or how to deal with her. With Riot not that long ago revamping invisibility in League of Legends to make them different classes of invisibility, Evelynn isn't exactly a stealth champion anymore. I like to think of her as being an optical illusion. Like one of those hologram cards you get where you have to look at it from a certain angle for it to actually look like something. And that's what Evelynn is. The enemy bot lane starts suddenly going aggressive and you realise that something's wrong, and then you kind of squint your eyes and you look at this dot for 30 seconds without blinking, and then when you look at the wall you see Jesus, or Evelynn, actually. Got a bit sidetracked. But her beauty nowadays is appearing when you think you're safe, appearing when you think that you have an advantage over your laner, whether that be an advantage in numbers or advantage in abilities, only for Evelynn to pop into lane at the last second, slap you around with some BDSM whips, and then stride back into the jungle like the cockiest prick on the rift. When an Evelynn does well in a game, it is not because she is good. That Evelynn is never good, it's because her enemy team are bad, and I refuse to believe otherwise. My standpoint in this is definitely not because I get shit stomped by Evelynns basically every time I play against them. I swear. Believe it or not though, back in the day, Evelynn was not a permanently stealth champion. Her passive never was that she was stealth forever. It was actually far, far worse. And as such, there were some absolutely messed up things that you could do with her that I honestly cannot even begin to explain to you how excited I am to show you them today. Today I'm going to show you the Evelynn that I always knew, the Evelynn that I grew up with. Not this creature, no, not this one, but this beautifully pixelated mess of a champion that is nothing but a rundown car in a shit neighbourhood compared to the majestic fucking sports car she once was. I have always referred to Evelynn as the jump scare queen, even going as far as to make this video to emphasise that point.
Okay, yay, no problem.
So let's go back in time, back to the early days of League of Legends once again, so I can show you why Evelynn in her prime is dead, and she's never coming back. R.I.P.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound.
I feel like the first thing I should talk about when it comes to Evelynn is her stealth. I mentioned earlier that she actually never had a perma stealth before, and if you didn't play her back before her rework, there's a good chance that you have no idea what the hell she could have been before that, since Evelynn seems like a champion that relies so much on the ability to be stealthed so early on. So what the hell is she expected to do if she's just standing around like, hey. Well, her W, instead of being a soft CC cleanse and a speed boost today, actually used to be her stealth. It was called Shadow Walk, and upon activation, Evelynn would start to fade away for a second or so, eventually becoming completely invisible. And when I say invisible, I mean invisible. I mean, even if you hit her when she was invisible, it didn't show that stupid little shimmer like invisible champions today. I don't mean she's invisible, but if you go close to her, you can see her again. I mean, if you're chasing an Evelynn and she manages to slip into her stealth, unless you have a pink ward to drop to actually reveal her, you have lost that kill. She is gone forever, along with your hopes and your dreams, and maybe even your wallet, to be honest, because Evelynn is a thieving little fuck. Seriously, check. I don't trust her. I'm not trying to be racist here, but I just don't trust blue people. You know, I just don't like them. Like, look at this Megamind looking ass. You trying to tell me you let him take care of your kids? No, it's not gonna happen. So how long was that stealth for exactly? Well, imagine Twitch's stealth, and then just times that number by 5. You see, when Shadow Walk was maxed, it would keep her invisible for up to 50 seconds at a time, with as little as an 8-second cooldown. Now that is ridiculous in its own right, but there was a thing that Evelynn used to do in the day. And when I tell you the name of this item that you used to build on Evelynn, a lot of people who are watching this right now are going to have Vietnam level flashbacks, and they're going to go, oh fuck, I remember that one, that was fucking horrible. So the item that a lot of Evelynns used to buy in the day was a Sunfire Cape, or more specifically, several Sunfire Capes. You see, back when Evelynn didn't have that proximity stealth, Sunfire Cape, it was an item that was very similar to the item that it was today, but with one slight difference. Now that difference, of course, was that the passive on Sunfire Cape was not unique. You know the passive that deals magic damage to anything in its radius? That passive was not unique at all. So you can sit there and think, oh yeah, well Evelynn can go invisible for 50 seconds, but at the very least she can't attack me, otherwise it breaks her stealth. Well, the thing about the Sunfire Cape damage was that it just didn't break stealth. So do you know what they would do? Do you know what Evelynn's would do back in the day? They would buy boots, and then they would stack as many Sunfire Capes as possible, and then literally walk into your lane and stand next to you until you were dead. So if you think the tank meta was bad, then you really have no idea what this game used to be like. You guys have got it easy, I swear. So that's right, unless you were under a tower or happened to have a pink ward nearby, if you were too busy focusing on something like farming or actually trying to trade with the enemy laner, there was a very good chance that you wouldn't even realize that your health was slowly plummeting towards zero. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely hilarious to watch, even if you were on the team that was against the Sunfire Cape Evelynn, but Christ, it was embarrassing. If you happened to be the unlucky sap that didn't even realize they were being damaged for over 100 magic damage a second by an Evelynn who was close enough to you to sniff your armpits, and you didn't even have the awareness to step back towards your tower or to drop a pink ward. This was just one of the many hilarious cheese tactics that you could fall victim to when it came to Evelynn. In fact, Sunfire Cape was so hilariously abusable back in the day that I'm actually considering giving it its own RIP episode. If you're interested in that, then by all means, let me know. But hell, we're balls deep in this video already, and I've only told you about one thing that Evelynn used to do. Now, did I mention at all that not only was she played jungle, but she actually used to be a really good mid laner? It turns out that if you actually gave this character any farm, she was kind of a monster, and putting her up against a champion that in all likelihood is probably really squishy, along with some of her other spells, made things pretty easy for Evelynn to snowball. Now, one thing that helped her against those mid laners was her E, Ravage, which these days is a spell that deals physical damage and makes your attack speed faster, but in her prime, she was all about AP. None of that hybrid bullshit, no AD damage at all. You hit someone with a Ravage back then, and not only does it deal magic damage with a ridiculous 100% AP scaling, but you reduce their resistances by up to 26. So if you're leaning against a squishy mid laner, you could very easily bring their armor and their magic resistance into the single digits with a single spell, making it perfect for her to absolutely dominate you with everything else that she has in her kit. Now, her Q remains the same, thankfully. Hate Spike's the only real constant in her abilities since she got reworked, and really, there hasn't been a tremendous amount of changes to it since. Her passive gave her a nifty little 50% reduced damage from any minions, which made jungling with her a complete breeze, or taking trades in minion waves far easier for her considering that she's melee. Her ultimate though is vastly different from what it used to be. You see, it used to be called Malice and Spite. The active of her old ultimate actually has kind of been transposed onto her W slightly as it is today. When you activated this spell, Evelynn would get a massive speed burst, up to 30%, and an attack speed buff, which was up to 75% for 10 seconds. Not 1 or 2 seconds, 10 seconds of smashing it through the rift like she's a goddamn Ferrari. On top of this, the spell also had a passive. If she gained an assist or a kill on any champion, even if she just coughed onto them hard enough to get an assist, she would heal for up to 300 flat health, and the cooldown on her ultimate would be reset, allowing her to fly around for another 10 seconds. This meant if you did not focus her down immediately, and you let her get any kind of leeway in a fight, her passive on that spell, which is basically the dangerous game mastery, except it's taken far too many steroids, would constantly be ticking as each and every member of your team falls trying to kill her. So all she has to do is wait in stealth for a portion of the 50 seconds that she's allowed to, and wait for one of your team to even be remotely low, and then she moves in and brings down your entire life before your eyes, one horrible health gaining reset at a time. In all honesty, if I had to choose between the old Evelynn or the new Evelynn for who I'd least like to be playing in a game against, I think it's pretty safe to say that the old Evelynn is many times over is horrible. It's the worst thing you've ever played against. I will take the new Evelynn any day of the week, so I guess I have Riot to thank for saving me on that one. But nevertheless, I think I've pretty systematically shown you exactly why Evelynn she's really not Evelynn anymore. She's just a fucking lizard creature wearing a skin mask, masquerading as the blue succubus that we all love to hate. But for now though, I'd like you to all join me in the comment section of this video, and please type F to pay your respects. Rest in peace, Evelynn. Hey, what's up guys, thank you very much for watching yet another RIP video. Seems like you guys really enjoy it, and I obviously have played for a very long time on this game, so it's always kind of fun to just show it could be worse, and you could be playing against some of the bullshit that I used to play against on a daily basis. If you have any suggestions, if you are an OG player and you have any suggestions for any further RIP series, although there is plenty that I still want to do, I do want to do a video on the Sunfire Cape, and on really old items like Innervating Locket and Scion is another one that I really want to do one on. Feel free to comment down below with your suggestion. Apart from that, guys, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and if you did actually like this video, I love it if you dropped a cheeky little like on it as well, and pay your respects in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Take it easy.